All right, y'all. Today we're looking at this boudoir photography business, and for its local searches, city searches, we're going to see if it has BSS. All right, so we're back here in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star here is, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture, and more about that, pinned video, pinned post somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Got way on the left, we got the highest intent peeps. These are like, social searchers, Google searchers are searching for boudoir photo shoot in my city, like today. Focus on those peeps here. And our video is talking about BSS. And way over on the right, we got the lowest intent people that ain't searching for boudoir right now. And most of them have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So we reach them through interruption ads through Facebook and Instagram. And we talk about that on our sister brand channel over there, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So, BSS, boudoir search sameness, that is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots, terrible. That means we're dying a fast death, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. Page 1 is it's where approximately 80% of Google searches stop, so they're page one only searches. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, that still ain't good, because we're looking the same as everyone else. There's 10 organic slots, page 1 on Google. So, there can be 9 other boudoir photographers. And if everyone's got 1 slot, then guess what a buyer's doing? They're saying, oh, everyone looks the same here, no one stands out. And they're getting, hitting everyone's contact form, getting price quotes from everyone, and price shopping, comparing, driving margins down, negotiating. And, this is a business killer as well. And 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google search is actually not normal. It's a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Yeah, to have that few number of slots, not normal. There's 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know what that is. Over time, people get new iPhones, get new cameras, kind of like upgrade their gear naturally. And as they continue, they eventually, throw up their Google Maps profile saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. They also throw up their website saying they offer boudoir photography, and they actually start posting in mom Facebook groups that they do boudoir photo shoots now. Basically, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for all boudoir photographers at the same time. Now, the second one, the false belief of page 1 equality. This one, boudoir photographers believe that every boudoir photographer basically kind of gets 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and either they have it or they don't. Either Google gives it to them or they don't. So maybe they're they're page 1 slot 8, and some market saturation happens. They go to page 2, slot 3, and they're like, well, that's how it is. And they're like, I hope those people above me delete their website so Google can rank me on page 1. But this is the 100% wrong thought process to have, because we now know for a fact that Google actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search in only 10 days with this new methodology we developed, which you'll be seeing in a little bit. Now, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer DBP. That's because, if you 0 1 slots page 1, both situations, we're practically invisible. And so this kind of the warning light, the first, the canary in the coal mine for a disappearing boudoir photographer that's telling us we are on the path to our boudoir photography business itself disappearing. But thankfully now we have a solution because through our testing we've discovered BSS is actually treated with social search saturation, aka S-Cube's methodology. And the way it works, it's exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there as many times as possible, right at the top. And it's kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America, on the backside of the Andes Mountains, the eastern side. And basically, when the snow down there melts, it forms into small streams, small rivers. Eventually, all that water collects to the Amazon River. Page 1 of Google is that Amazon River. Page 1 Google search. So we got to get the snow up top the mountains first for the water to then flow into the Amazon River. And the best way to get the snow up top, saturating social search. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that actually gives them a chance to actually still grow their business in the face of massive and increasing market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen that also gives the benefit is having a large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. AI is here taking peep jobs. We ain't got time to build one of those. But kind of an extra benefit of S-Cube methodology is my estimate is it will actually build a brand about 8x faster in traditional ways because we're on so many different surfaces with such a high frequency than everyone else. Kind of just naturally leads to a large, well-known brand being built. So example of boudoir photography business still growing even in the face of more and more market saturation. Let's say we are in Bangor, Maine. There's a million boudoir photographers there, and we're one of them. Everyone's got their boudoir photography website, trying to rank page 1 on Google. And what's actually happening is, we're like, dude, we don't have a brand. How the heck are we going to compete? We actually, well, the only solution is S-Cube methodology. So we crank it up to, max level. I'd say we rank the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And as we get those slots, let's say we get those to flow down onto Google page 1. Well, we actually get the first 300 slots on Google, so it's 10 slots per page. We're taking the first 30 pages. People basically got to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors. So if we got the first 300 slots where anyone looks, no matter how far they scroll, any social search or any on Google, whose boudoir photography business is still growing? Obviously ours, because our buyers can basically not even find our competitors. So our 999,999 other boudoir competitors are basically dying / vanishing, and we're basically the only ones still growing. So that's the most extreme example of S-Cubed methodology. Now, once treated with S-Cubed methodology, we now have page 1 visibility. So initial benefit, we get more slots on page 1, cool. Secondary benefit, every new slot we get on page 1, we actually kick, or second initial benefit, we actually kick competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Dude, so we can do this to people right in our city. We can kick as many people off page 1 in our city as possible, because now we know Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And a lot of boudoir photographers feel that this is actually their most favorite initial benefit. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is when the GVC universe recommends we hit a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search, because basically everyone else will have 1 slot, every other boudoir photographer, so we got 3, we're dominating them just off of sheer appearance. And if in the super rare situation that one person has 2 slots, well, we got 3 and we dominate them as well. And finally, a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our full micro universe here, a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We got our solution now. S cubed methodology gives us page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results utilizing S cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I want to dominate page one for this. Sorry, I had 0 out of 10 slots, page one, Google search. So let's see my results using S cubed methodology. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So we got 9 out of 10 slots. I went from 0 out of 10 slots Google page one search to 9 out of 10 slots Google page one search in only 10 days, exclusively utilizing S cubed methodology. Now, onto the main event here. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business, see if it's got BSS for its local or its city search, see if it's hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google. So let's get into this. So we're going to Germantown, Tennessee, and Memphis, Tennessee. All right, so what we got here. We're in Germantown, Tennessee. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we got 1. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for local search. Let's go to city. City is always harder to rank for. It's more people competing. Oh, nice. We got organic slot 1. That's great. So we got 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 here. We got 1 out of 10 for local. We got 1 out of 10 for Memphis. So yeah, we got BSS for both, and we are hitting the GBC universe recommended minimum. A 3 out of 10. Neither of those searches. So, all right, so if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, and you're seeing the market saturation, and you're realizing page one equality is now a false belief that doesn't exist. I mean, look at the screen right here. This is where I got 9 out of 10 in 10 days. And you want to use S cubed methodology to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Because you see AI coming, and you see that it's going to take a ton of people's jobs, and you're seeing that a lot of these people are going to come in, start their boudoir photography businesses, same as COVID, and you want to prepare so that no matter how many people come into the market, you always have enough links on page one, and to be visible, minimum 3 out of 10, the GBC minimum for local and city. And so you're basically planning for the future. And you also know kind of the more topic cohesion, or to get ranked for these keywords that your business has, your brand has, the higher the chance Google AI summary at the top of search will recommend you. And potentially even kind of the more we do S cubed methodology, the more it feeds into all the back end search rankings for all the other AI systems. So people, ask ChatGPT, give me some boudoir photographers in, Cincinnati. Last time I checked using ChatGPT to search, I gave up like 3, put up like 3. So if we actually have higher chance to be ranked for that, higher chance of surviving after AI forces more boudoir photographers onto the marketplace, all competing for the same buyers, and want a higher chance to, we got to do this to have our best chance of becoming the number 1 boudoir photographer in our city, then shoot me a DM when I open up intake for new patients at the hospital. So DMs are closed right now, not doing any new patient intake right now. But when my DMs do open up, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify for the S cubed methodology.